We took the children, went to the fair, and and you said, Mom, don't we know those people over there? And I said, yes. As a matter of fact, they were our clients. Went over to them and said, well, how are you? Had a little baby, 4-month-old baby boy. I said, we didn't know you had a little baby boy. And she said, yes. She said, remember? She said, well, she said, remember, we had tried for 8 years to get pregnant. She said, I could not. They took, what did they take? All kinds of...
They did all of the fertility drugs, and they still were having a problem, and they both decided that their past history must have had something to do with preventing them having a child, and they went ahead and both went through a series of treatments and changed their whole life and ate better and took care of themselves. And how long did it take?
1 month.
1 month.
They both completed a series of treatments, both of them, and 1 month later she got pregnant. Coincidence? I don't think so, because we've had numbers of stories, time and time again, of incidences exactly like this one that have benefited people.
Really exciting. I know women with terrible PMS will go through a series of treatments, and one of the first things they come back and say is, I didn't even know that I was going to start my cycle. I went through the month and I have been fine. No more moodiness. It's just been absolutely incredible.
What about the lady, the girl that came to me that was 28 years old? Her boyfriend recommended she do a series of cleansing, and she had taken, she had terrible acne, pimples, because she had had a history of doing social drugs. And in her 6th treatment, her face started to clear up. It was just incredible. And she said her boyfriend was he was just so happy. And her face totally cleared up after she completed her series. And not just this one. I'm talking hundreds of people exactly like this. The same story, time and time again. My own case, I had a pap smear, and it came out of class 2. And they were calling me, the doctors were calling, nurses were calling me, get in here, we got to take care of it, this can turn into cancer, and it was really scare tactics. And I did a 7-day cleansing program. I did colon hydrotherapy every day for 7 days. I took cleansing herbs, and I did juices, organic juices, for 7 days. Went back and had 2 PAPs done again, and they came out negative.
That was fantastic.
So, yes.
That was very, very wonderful.
What about you, Roxanne? Tell them what happened to you.
Well, this is how I got involved in colon hydrotherapy, and how I actually became certified. The beginning was, if you remember correctly, back when I was 21 years old, and I had decided to do a fast. And of course, you convinced me that I needed to do the cleansing herbs and follow your program. And I said, okay, I guess I'll try it. And I did. I was pretty vibrant. I really wasn't a sickly person. I was in pretty good shape, but I had severe allergies. I had been taking 2 shots a week for a few months previous to that, and when they had done the allergy tests, the reaction I got was so severe that they had to give me shots and pills to counteract the reaction I had to the test. The test came back 83% positive, and the doctor had said that it was the most severe case of allergies he'd seen in 25 years of practice. So that I was suffering with, and I went ahead and I did the cleanse, and I did a fast with it. And I know that it was on the 5th treatment I eliminated so much. And I had never, ever been a constipated person in my life. And I couldn't believe that I had that kind of garbage in my body. And my skin cleared up.
Yes,
and I suffered not one allergy for 2 years after that program. I never had to take shots again, have never taken shots since then. I may have slight reactions in the springtime, but I don't have to do anything about it. And my whole life changed at that moment. I thought, this is for real. This is something that is effective, and that this can make a change in people's health for good. And I can testify to it.
We're talking 11 years ago, aren't we?
That was
you were
12
21?
years, 11 years ago.
Yes.
11 years ago.
And remember, Roxanne, when you went and you looked in the mirror and you used to have pimples right along your chin, and you said, look, my chin is cleared up. And your, how many compliments?
I never had anyone compliment me on my skin until doing that program. And then people stopped me and said, wow, what are you doing? It really has made a difference. Your skin looks great. And of course I felt fantastic. I worked all through that time and felt very, very energetic. I know I've personally done things through the cleansing program where I would be maybe feeling like I'm coming down with a cold or just not feeling up to par, and I'll do a cleanse and totally gone.
Yes.
The next day, totally gone. I've had sinus infections that have been gone in one treatment.
Yes.
So it's amazing what you can really do just by ridding the body of the toxins and buildup.
I had one lady that came to me, and she worked as an administrator for a hospital, and she did a series of therapy, colon hydrotherapy, and the cleansing program, and it changed completely. She was really feeling tired and out of sorts and crabby and not functioning well in her work, and after she completed the series, people would come up to her at work and say, "What are you doing? You look wonderful." And she didn't dare tell them she was doing that, but because she didn't want to, but she really wanted to tell them, but she didn't think they would understand that she was doing colon hydrotherapy, you know. And her daughter, who was 21 years old, came to me for a couple of treatments after that. And her daughter told me, she said, "You know, I live with my mother." She said, and my mother was miserable to be around. My mother was not happy. She was crabby. She was complaining. She was negative. She says, and now, she said, she is a joy to live with now, that after she completed her cleansing. Because remember, the brain is part of the body. If you're not feeling well and you have a moodiness or depression, I mean, I'm not saying this is going to heal or completely, you're going to recover completely, but because we're not talking about curing. But I am saying that testimony after testimony, people have said their moodiness has subsided. They're not crabby like they used to be. They seem to be more up or optimistic and have a reason to live. Because, you know, when we're sick, isn't it true that when we're sick, we're into ourselves? We're always caught up in ourselves, and how can we reach out to other people and be loving and outgoing and helping other people? And isn't that what life is all about, is to reaching out and helping other people? Ultimately, that's what life is all about. But how can you be that way when you're sick? And I see so many senior citizens, time and time again, that are sick and crabby and complaining, and I mean, you ask them how they are, and they tell you, take 20 minutes to tell you every ache and pain they have. Well, that's not what God wanted for us. God wants us to grow old being healthy and vibrant and blessing to our great children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. And yet, time and time again, old people are sickly, and they're taking all kinds of prescription drugs. You can go in convalescent hospitals and see them time and time again. They're miserable. And
it's not just old people, unfortunately. It's hitting at all ages. And I believe personally that what is happening is our body is reacting to these toxins.
Exactly.
We are reacting to the pesticides that we're ingesting, all the air that we breathe. Nothing that we eat, drink, or breathe anymore is natural. Even if we try to eat organic, and even if we try to stay in an area where it's not as polluted, or we try our best to maybe to have electric houses without gas fumes, or whatever the case may be, we still get those toxic fumes and toxic matter in our body by ingesting. And people